Hey there folks, let's go to CSSBattle.dev, do the daily target. Ahoy hoy, ahoy hoy hoy. I would normally say that I think that, okay, so let's just show a little bit of something here. Let's do a box shadow inset and show you what that looks like. So box shadow inset, and we'll say inset 20 pixels, 20 pixels. We don't see anything yet because we don't have a color. There it is. But if we do that, with a negative value, then we can get this kind of pattern. The issue is this square. That little squarelet is going to be a problem for us in doing this solution. So let's just see how far we get with. Let's see what we need to do here. All right. So purple on the background, and we're going to have a single paragraph element that I think is going to encompass this whole thing. We could use borders. I'm going to not use borders. I used borders for the solution yesterday. Nothing stopping me from doing borders, other than I kind of feel like I did that yesterday, and I don't want to do it again. 40, 30, 32, 25, 26, 27. All right, and then the height was 200, 220, 230. All right, so we have the margins correct for this element. So let's, I think one of the ways to do this, all right, the only way to do it is to do it. So let's do it. I'm going to start with a conic gradient. Conic gradient. Conic gradient, which has got this orangey color, orange beige, 25%, and then transparent. Using at, we change the center of it. So currently that's encompassing the whole entirety of this paragraph element. So if I put red back there, you can see it. I put 100 pixels, 30 pixels. All right, so that's wrong. We want it to be what, 40, and then 200, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Boom. That's our start. So that's our first conic gradient. So let's do another one. This one is going to be similar, but it's instead of that 290, 40, we're going to put the center of this one down here. So that's going to be what, it probably 20, and then if it's 230 tall, so it's 210. And instead of this at 25%, we're going to flop these two colors. Transparent first, and then the orange. And that's how we get that. And we don't have anything except that right now. So that's the rest of it. So how do we get these other shapes? I alluded to the box shadow. If I do box shadow inset, I don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to say inset minus 40 pixels, minus 40 pixels. And that's just going to cover everything, right? Like that just doesn't do it. It messes up the other part of the solution, and that's no good. So that's why we can't use that for this particular solution. There's ways to do it with other elements and other kind of creations, but in this case, that's what we're going to do. All right, so I think we're looking at layers here. So layers of, let's see. What are our choices? What are our choices? I kind of want to use a linear gradient, but then we need to constrain it. So let's just do conic gradient again. We'll do conic gradient. which is what? From 180 degrees, transparent, 25%, and then this color. So that's how you get that. Let's say it's at 0, 0. It's 100 pixels by 100 pixels, and I add a no repeat. Maybe that's the way to do it. So that's got sizing. Let's move it down 40 pixels. No, actually it's going to be at 0, isn't it? 0. The width needs to be more. 2, 3, 2, 240, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then the height needs to be more. Actually, I don't need the height, do I? Ahaha. That's kind of nice. So from 180 degrees at 200 pixels, 20 pixels, 200, 40, 50, 60, 70. And in the background, we got that. So this particular, I can make this a variable. So I'm going to do that. Let's see if, I might mess myself up here, but let's try it. So we'll put that in var g, great. And then I'm going to put another one in, perm, comma, perm. And then that one moves minus 20 pixels, and then down 60, 70, 80, and then over minus 40. Maybe that does it. Does that do it? Oh, we're a little bit wrong. We're too low or too high. Not low enough, so we need to go down another 10 and over another 50. Another 10. So 10 on both. All right. So that's how many gradients? 1, 2, 3, 4 gradients. And that's fine. I think that works. And that's again on a paragraph element. Let's minify and unit replace to get the final answer there. What I kind of want to know is what happens if we, instead of doing all of this on a paragraph element, let's copy all that whole mess and just do it on the body. Move that there, move background. So right now we have this first. Boom. So there we kind of have the pieces. And I'm going to remove that color. Okay. So we got some pieces here. We got to move them around, right? We obviously got to move them around. I kind of like this. Let's start with these two elements, because I think what that means is, yeah, I can keep the no repeat. Yeah, I need to keep the no repeat, but let's move them into place. So a little bit further over. We need to, the at value needs to go up. So let's do that to 8. And we need to make the width wider. Yeah, 30. 310, 25. Okay. That's kind of wacky and fun. Let's do the same thing. 100, and we move down. 5, 6, 7, 75, and then move this down as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, just trying to get those stripes right, and we're going to see if we can do that. I'm not totally sure that I'm doing it well. $305. Okay. Okay. So now we got that. Now that we have that, what else do we have, or what else do we need? We have several other pieces that we need to put in place, and it's not at all clear to me that this is a great way to do this. It actually starts to occur to me that these are elements that can be superimposed and just do it all with borders, and that the gradient method is not the best method at all. All that said, let's do conic gradient. Transparent, 25%, and then this color. And then we're going to put that at some, 20 pixels over, 20 pixels down. No repeat. You got to put it over more. So what, 30, 32, 35, 35. And then that at value needs to be at 20 pixels to 10. That's kind of interesting. If I do that, and then I put I do this purple. So I do that. I was going to think that I could add purple to that, but no, there's no way to add purple to that to make that do some of the covering work that I need done. So that's no good. Let's actually 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 30. And then the height. $30, great. Yeah, not great. Not really great, really. I mean, we've got a lot of the pieces, and it still ends up being 4 conic gradients. So let's do another conic gradient. Finish this up because this is kind of getting silly. From at 300 pixels, 40 pixels, this color, 25% transparent. And there's my little square. And I'm going to add a no repeat. Move it over. Actually, what I really want to do is do maybe that's fine, and then remove it. Minus 20 pixels. 20 minus 30, 35, and then down 30 pixels. 35. Now we got these things hanging out. That's no good. Maybe this is where that inset box shadow goes. So then we do, what? Let's do that. Box shadow. Inset. 20 pixels or 30 pixels minus 30 pixels, and then purple. Not quite, because of the margins, isn't it? And that's kind of a bummer, a thing I forgot about. Always forget that. It does solve the problem. It does, create a thing that creates a match, but it's not great. Not my favorite thing. Okay, so let's minify and unit replace and then decide gradients are not efficient for this at all. And so let's make some elements. Let's make some elements and see what that looks like. So we need 4 elements. No, we're gonna make 3. We're gonna make 3. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make 3. So let's make those elements. Boom, boom. Purple on the body. We're gonna say border solid 20 pixels. And we're gonna set the color. Okay, we'll get rid of the background. Done. All right. With our margins, 30, 20, 25, 26, 27, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5. Height of 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Oh, and actually, I don't want that at all. I don't want that at all. Or do I? Maybe I do. Maybe I want border width 0, 0, 20 pixels, 20 pixels. Like that. And then a little extra height. 2. 210. Okay, so that's part 1. Right now, I've got margins like that. And so I think if I do a negative margin here and then end up with a 27, that puts me where I want. And then when I add another one of these guys, we'll call that B. And so that's the attribute B. Background red. Oh, that shouldn't work. So right now, that space between here and the colon, I thought that meant that most rendering engines then would ignore that rule, but it's not ignoring it. That surprises me. It's not a big deal, just something that occurs to me. All right, so let's make this go up a little more. 1, 2, 5. And then we're going to set a height, 100. Okay, and we're going to say border width, 20 pixels. And there's our guy. That's a guy. All right, now by setting the margins and height, and we'll do what? The first one, margin, and we'll set 0, 0, 0, 0. And get rid of this particular messy thing there. I think we want 27 here, and then we want 20, 30, 35, and then what? 60, 65, 66, 67. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that's our second guy. This is a little nicer to work with than in a lot. Actually, you know what I want? You know what I want? I want a second B. So B plus B. And that way I can reuse some of these rules and say, I want to say background red, margin, oh, and then even better, minus 200, and 1.8, $175. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up this second element using margins, and then now with a height and margins, I can then define what this guy is. 0, 0, 0, 0. And that margin is what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 35. No, yeah, 35. And I think again it's going to be the second number, 67. 67. No, more than that. 107. 117. Great. I think that puts this height lower. 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 100. And then this final margin, 110, 10, 20, 25, 27. So that's 3 paragraph elements that are overlapping each other to create that shape. And that's a little nicer than all those gradients, I guess. Yeah, that's nicer than that. I'm still going to do my ridiculous conic gradient to do that little square. Or am I? No, let's not do that. Yeah, we'll leave the purple and we'll make another one. And this last one is also a PB. Sure, why not? And then we'll just follow the thread. Plus B. Say background red. And margin. We'll say 0, 0, 0, 0. There he is. That's great. So let's move him up. Minus 200. So we're going to move him way high. Using this margin from this one before. 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, so now we're in position. And I think we want a height of 0. Hilarious. And then our margins, right now we've got 0, 0, 0. We don't need to touch that first one, I don't think. Yeah, we don't need to touch that first one. But this final one is what, 300? 3, 10, 20. And then this margin is probably 27. Oh, it's close. 29, 27, 26, 26, 25, 30, 32. Oh, what am I doing wrong? That's interesting. $20, $30, $31, $32, $33, $34, $35. Oh, we're not having the right effect. Why? We've got some kind of condition where the margin is obstructing. I think we can make this better. There it is. So we had this, because of the way these numbers work, and oh, so we have the 20 pixel border width, right? And that means it absolutely must take at least 40 by 40. It must. And the margins just wouldn't, and if I forced it not to, it would still do that. It's not like Flex where things will actually stretch to accommodate a Flex context. This is like the real world as far as my understanding of how margins and elements take space in a web page. So let's submit that, and I like this. Well, and I think that I can remove the pixel value, the pixel units from these. Yeah, I can. Let's minify, unit replace, And that's a final for this approach. Super fun, super real fun. Yeah, and that's a better score than what we got, even with the very silly ABC. But and we've got this background red going on too. Yeah, a lot of inefficiencies here, but that's cool. Let's see, what else can we remove? A lot of little tuning things can be done. Border width. And then a final submission. I think this could be an ampersand in this context. Yeah, so submit. And that's a final. That's a fun one. And I definitely like the element way. Elements and borders, I was not feeling it. I wanted to do, gradients, but borders, margins, heights, definitely doing the job here. All right. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Go make a web page. See you tomorrow. Bye.